So what? I'm going to tell a little story now. Early this morning, as they're draining my little chest here, my steel chest gets drained and turns into silly putty and a pillow. And so this kind of like molds into what I believe in. I use Facebook as like a scrapbook, and I don't know who would view it, or I don't care really, but just for my own posterity, and it's like my own diary to write down how I feel, and what I see happening with the world, and all my what my own investigations and experiments have led me to. That I believe, and I hope this doesn't sound crazy, that I was born like a study, and like I feel something in the right side of my body, like a pole was put in me when I was born, like a pole. And the pole vibrates, and that's why maybe people can think that they know what I'm thinking or what I'm going to say before I say it or whatever, or that it kind of like, and like, so as a result of this pole being stuck into the right side of my body from my brainstem down, I was viewed by a large set of people throughout the whole atmospheric hemisphere. So the problem with that was that when you get to be a certain, I don't even know if you have to be a certain age, but there's certain requirements that you would need, and I hope somebody can respond to this when I'm done in their own offhanded way, that in order to meet certain governmental or whatever like requirements of society, you have to be a certain way and be a certain type of person. So I was actually used for political purposes to promote this viewpoint, this like evil viewpoint, that you have to be a certain way in society, and it became political. It became politicized in that if I was going to be viewed because of my viewpoints and where I stood with sort of all inclusiveness and acceptance and doing the best you can and staying clean, that I needed to be seen as less than, or that I couldn't do certain things, or I didn't measure up, or that to be a real man, you can't be like this guy, you got to be something else. And as a result of this, they then had to make it seem like this was just the way it is. This is the way it works. So anybody who was viewing me who felt as I did got wiped. Their brains got wiped. They got forced to do drugs. They got forced to commit suicide. They got forced to do bad things. And that I was constantly under pressure to do the wrong thing, or be a less than guy, or not be able to withstand a lot of pressure, or not, because that is just, even though I was being viewed, the powers that be, and I've said it a million times where I know they actually lay, it doesn't have much to do with America. The power need you to be a certain way, and that's their viewpoint. So where I was being watched and I was this good character, there was another viewpoint who controls the system. It says, no, that's just not how we do things. Guys like this aren't allowed to exist the way this guy's existing. So it got this clash, And it became so bold and abrasive and obvious that now some people are allowed to live it, but they're just allowed. Now everybody is just allowed. They have to be given license, and everybody has their own gig. But they called it gig. They ended up calling it gig economy, where everybody's like part of this gigabyte system, and if you don't follow this algorithm about doing destruction to yourself and your body, or you don't behave in an appropriate manner when it's not called for, then you get in trouble with this algorithmic gig economy system. So that's actually what happened, and what it got so bold with my viewing. They're just saying this is I was kingdom come, if you know the prayer, and they're like King Kong has got to fall, and that's why they don't. It got to the point where they didn't even give a shit that I was being watched by everybody. This is just how we fucking do things. Studs like this don't exist in our world, unless you're an army guy, shooting up or going to the VA or exhibiting some bad, rugged, machismo, in-your-face behavior. So that's how that goes.